Hey everybody, it is Nicole with Paper Chef. I hope you are having a great day, evening, morning, whenever you watch this video. So welcome back to my kitchen. I'm excited. I got a couple of my favorite products. I know lots of you have this. I know lots of you have this. And I know lots of you have this. So I'm using all three of those today. And I do want to talk about them because they're one of my favorite products. And if you are watching this video and this is your first time seeing any of these, you're probably gonna want these. This is a guacamole savor, okay? If anybody here has been to any of my live shows, you've been to anything at my home, y'all know that my guacamole is so good, okay? So to let it sit in here and vacuum seal and sit for 7 weeks and it's still green is very hard. No joke, when we first got this, I'll just let it sit there just to see how long it will last. I finally gave up at 7 weeks, my friends. This really is kind of like a vacuum seal system for your guacamole. I had a guacamole saver from a different brand prior to Pampered Chef coming out with theirs. It worked, but it really didn't work more than like 3 or 4 days, which is still better than 30 minutes or an hour or even a day. So this is our guacamole save and serve. I will tell you, depending on when you watch this video, this is a spring and summer product only. So this will be out of the catalog and not be able to purchase at the end of August. So if you're watching this later, hopefully it keeps coming back as a spring and summer. I make guacamole all year long, so I'm just saying, make sure y'all add this. I've gotten so many messages and they're like, thank you so much for telling me to get this because it has saved my guacamole. So no matter if you're making it from scratch, today I typically 99% of the time make mine from scratch, but I do understand that there are people who don't want to buy all the stuff to make it from scratch. And y'all, this right here is pretty close to it. I'm just gonna tell you, it is very good. You take 1 tablespoon of the seasoning to 1 avocado. And y'all can see this is kind of a good size avocado. If you are using a smaller avocado, then you might want to cut back on the tablespoon. You might want to do a half of it. So a couple of things. This is our avocado tool, but please keep in mind that you can really use this part right here, which is the pit, to remove that pit. Y'all can use that for any fruits or vegetables, okay? So first of all, I have to share this. So thanks for my customer and host, Miss Marie, for sharing this. She was like, Nicole, this is so good on chicken. Okay, so she grilled this on chicken. So don't forget that y'all can use these. I guarantee you it's probably really good on roasted veggies, potatoes, all the good stuff. Okay, so just another use of your guacamole seasoning. So if you have this, first of all, I'd love to see you in the comments where you're watching from. Do you have these products? Do you love them? Do you have questions about them? I'm doing this video because I know lots and lots of people are gonna have this or end up with this, and I wanna make sure that you're using it correctly. So what I'm gonna do is kind of break it down first so you can see this is your lid and it clips on. So what I'm gonna do is kind of bring the phone closer just so you can see. So this is your little elevator. We'll come back to this. But here is your gray piece, it's silicone. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of push this through so we can start over. There is a smooth bottom, there is a edge. You do not want to do it this way because there's nothing for you to clip this on. Does that make sense? So your lid does not clip to that smooth edge. It's gonna clip to the one that's got the lip on it. So always remember, I think this is what gets people a little backwards, is this piece has to clip to something, and when you click it here, it's nothing there. So keep in mind, this is always gonna be on that lip. Now, here's your silicone and here's the bottom piece. So this is your silicone. We're not making guacamole in here, we're saving it in here, okay? I'm just gonna mix it up in a bowl and then we're gonna put it down in here. So what you wanna do, that smooth edge again, you wanna push this part up, okay? And look, you can just keep pushing. But I'm gonna leave it down because I kind of want to show you how it works. So what we're gonna do is, when you put all this together, the elevator sits here, and as you keep pushing, this kind of pushes your guacamole, keeps pushing. If y'all can see, you're gonna keep pushing and keep pushing, okay? Now, let's say that we've got guacamole in here. I am gonna do it so you can actually see. Go ahead and clip down this lid. I would probably recommend that you do this ahead of time. And then, if y'all notice, what it's doing is getting all that air out, okay? So let's say that we had guacamole to this point. What you wanna do is kind of push it through till a little bit of that guacamole comes out, kind of wipe that off and lick it. And then you're gonna push this down and you're gonna put this in the refrigerator. Now you do not have to put this in the refrigerator if you don't want time, but if you wanna keep it together, you can either way. But this is what it looks like. I know this looks weird, but this is what it's supposed to look like. The less and less guacamole that you get, okay? So every time that you wanna get guacamole out, you just take the lid off, you scoop out what you want, you get your little elevator back, okay? And you keep pushing. And speaking of elevator, again, if y'all see, there's a lip here, and again, we're smooth here. So the smoother edge is what, excuse me, here, I got it backwards for you, is you want to put that together and keep pushing. So that's your little elevator, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to use a couple of tools, and I'm going to put my guacamole in here so I can save it. So again, I'm going to go through the bottom. We're going to kind of push that down inside there. All right, now a couple of things is, speaking of, it's so funny. I know a lot of people that go to my shows know this. If you don't know how to buy an avocado that's ready to be cut into, my advice is touch your nose on the end. It really feels like it should. If you can put your finger through here, it is not ready. Y'all, the greener, the harder it is not ready. And then if you get some and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna go home and make guacamole today or tomorrow, and then you're like, oh God, this is gonna go by fast, put these in the refrigerator. It does slow the process down a little bit, okay? So, couple of things. Avocado tool, if y'all can see, we have a serrated edge on one side and this side is completely flat, okay? So I'm gonna cut into our avocado. Most of y'all know you cannot cut through the entire inside because you got that pit right there. I do not want you to take your knife and do this. I don't want you to have an ERB on, my friends. That is the whole point of this side, okay? So this side is gonna take that out, my friends. Did y'all see that? Okay, super easy. Now I'm gonna take my knife, okay? Actually not on the non-serrated side. I'm just gonna cut this up. We're gonna end up in this bowl. Now I do have 2 avocados, so I'm gonna put 2 in here. So I'm gonna end up gonna be using 2 tablespoons of that guacamole season. And these are pretty good size avocados, okay? I do know they have avocados that are bigger than this. I forget what they're called. They are called something different. If you're getting those really, really big ones, you might have to add more seasoning to adjust to that. So we're gonna get all that out, and y'all can see this knife really gets everything out of there, my friends. Gets everything out of there. All right, now we're gonna do another one. Just cut it open. Get that through there. Same thing. And by the way, this knife can go in the dishwasher, so if you're all about the dishwasher, my friends, you can put it down inside there. Oops, I got the skin on that one, on that side. Let me take that off. There we go. We don't want the skin. All right, one last chance. You're gonna see me remove this pit. It's like magic, I always say. Like, I'm at a show and people's mouth drop. They're like, oh my. So again, you're gonna take this part, you're just gonna stab that and it pulls it right out for you. Same thing, we're gonna get all this out. We're gonna mix it up. Then I'm gonna add my seasoning. I'll also drop my from scratch guacamole recipe. And I love this. I hear from all the time that I only eat your guacamole, Nicole. It is so good, okay? When I jokingly say this, my guacamole has flavor, my friends. We put all kinds of good stuff in there. Now, a couple of things. I am very picky. Me personally, I prefer my guacamole to be creamy, okay? So I can take the mix and chop to this. So if y'all have never done your mix and chop, I highly recommend that you get your mix and chop out and you can do this. Anybody here has mix and masher, you can do that as well. One of my favorite things is either our manual food processor and or the new electric food processor. I'm just gonna skip that for today's video, okay? Because I prefer mine to be creamy, okay? A little too chunky for me, but just to show you how it works. So now we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of our seasoning. Okay, I got a brand new one right here. And I will tell y'all, this has your lime, this has your jalapeno, this has cilantro, it has all the stuff that you would normally buy and put in there, okay? So I would love to know, those of y'all that have this, what do you love about it? And if you're using it for something else, drop it in the comments. We all wanna know what you're using it for. So, we're just gonna mix this up, and it smells so good, y'all. All right. So we'll mix this all up. Now, if I was in my food processor, I would just put it all in there and hit the button, my friends. If y'all don't have that electric twist and chop, y'all, it's my fave, it's my fave. I would have to say my old school food chopper, y'all know, white one, that's your stress reliever. And the manual one has probably hit the back burner for a little bit because that electric one is thebomb.com. All right, so a couple of things. We're gonna again put this down inside here so y'all can just see how it works. Okay. Alrighty. All right, and I kind of just get it mashed down inside there so y'all can see. So this is kind of what it looks like, okay? Now we're gonna put our elevator on here, okay? So we can push that up. Let me put my lid on first. I highly recommend that you put your lid on first, my friends. All right, and you wanna definitely open up your little flap, and then we're gonna push through here. So y'all are gonna see what I'm talking about. So I have pushed it all the way through there, and then you're just gonna take that and lick, my friends, okay? That's all it is to it, okay? So super easy. So I hope if you took advantage of getting one of these awesome things, avocado toll, guacamole seasoning. If you're not, make sure you get it. I'll put a shopping link in the comments, or if you want to message me, I'll be glad to place your order for you and send you an invoice that you can pay online, and I'll take care of it for you. But until next time, my friends, hope you enjoyed this. I'd love to know what you liked and learned in the comments, and I'll talk to you soon.